competitions going on. How'd your guys do?
They did pretty well. We went down to Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
Students did really well. A lot of them got really excited about the competition.
Did you,
but also we got to go and see the Cam Newton Shrine inside their football headquarters.
No, well, the most important thing is, did you win the Enthusiasm Award again this year?
We're going to say that we're going for it again next year. We took a slight second place there. And, we really showed our spirit and really represented Northwest Ohio well.
Okay. Well, we're going to get a little tease of spring this coming weekend, but we're talking about getting plants started indoors this morning, right?
Correct. And it's the perfect time, especially if you're one of those gardeners that's just about ready to start out in the garden. There are a couple things you can direct sow, but if you're wanting to start your plants inside, and you want to get a jump start in your own tomatoes, your own peppers.
Well, that's what we want to do now. I mean, we're still going to have nights where we're going below freezing,
oh, yeah.
So you don't want to get them in the ground this weekend. It's good. It's a tease of spring that
it's
we're going to see.
It's definitely a tease.
Yeah.
And that happens for the first couple months that we're going through here. Before the May frost-free date hits, a lot of these should be staying inside, not outside.
It's not planting season just yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, what are we talking about
here?
So
today we've got a couple different things, and one of the things that we have is a tray. This is what they have commercially. So if you were in the commercial greenhouse this time of year, you'd see these starts. Now they're going to jump what you're normally going to have in your own home. So these are going to be plants that have already been seeded probably about a month ago to a couple weeks ago, depending on which grower you're going with.
Like 50 starts in these things?
Yeah, there's actually 51. Good observation there. So you're right on.
Okay.
And this is how they do it commercially. They do it in small trays, put a little bit of peat and potting soil mix in there, and they'll start them in the trays.
And that's what you want to do at home?
Yep, and you want to emulate what's going on in the commercial environment in your own home environment.
Of course.
One of the ways to do that is those little grow kits that you have. Sometimes you'll see they've got a little plastic shield on top. And the idea there is to keep the humidity up. Because one of the problems you have when you start seeds indoors is you don't have enough humidity. So one thing you can do is you can either let out a dish of water, put a couple pebbles in it, and let that evaporate into the atmosphere to help keep the humidity.
Why do you put the pebbles in it?
It's just one of those things. It's kind of an old wives' tale, little superstition of the garden.
Gotcha.
But it's one thing that works out. And you can either do that or keep these little huts on your plants.
A little greenhouse. Creating
a mini greenhouse. Now, one of the problems you can arise when you're doing this is getting too much stagnant air, too much water that's being recycled in the system. So you will want to take the top off of these every once in a while.
Poking a little hole will create too much moisture to be released?
Correct, correct. So you want to actually take the top off, occasionally get a little bit of airflow in through there too. And you'll see with your young seedlings, one of the problems a lot of home gardeners have is they'll get too weak. So they'll be too weak in terms of their stems. They'll put them out in the garden and they'll flop over. And one of the problems is that they're not exposed to wind at all. So you can start off with one of those little mini fans as a part of an aid in your growing system to keep them moving back and forth.
Great tips, Matt. Thank you very much. That is good stuff.